All right, Lions training camp. Saturday. We're talking 6 days, 5 full days. The rookies are reporting to training camp down in Allen Park. On Tuesday, the vets are joining them. Ooh. We got training camp 2024. I just want to ask you guys, 10 minutes, let's chop it up. What storylines heading into this Lions training camp, heading into the season, are you most interested in?
Well, Hendon Hooker, and not for the reasons that most people would think. He's not going to be a starter for this team, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody that was on the Hendon Hooker train, it sailed, okay? Jared Goff is your guy going forward. However, you do want to see a good showing from Hendon Hooker during this preseason, so that way we know whether we have a capable backup or not. Because I've heard some reports earlier in the year that he wasn't doing too hot in OTAs and things of that nature. So I'm really interested to see what Hendon Hooker is going to bring to the table because he's finally going to get reps this year. Yeah. We're going to see him.
Is he the number 2 to start the season?
Exactly. That's the question.
Is he number 3 and Nate Sudfeld's the number 2?
Please no.
I mean, this is also
I hope not.
The backup quarterback discussion is something that needs to be had because of course it would be terrible for Goff to go down in any circumstance, but right now ready. I don't know if there's much confidence that Hendon Hooker is ready or that Sudfeld is that guy. We know how important Sudfeld is behind the scenes, helping Jared Goff. That's why he's here. Nate Sudfeld is here to help Jared Goff prepare week in and week out, prepare for the upcoming matchup, prepare in the film room. They speak the same language. That's what Mark Brunell said about Jared Goff and Nate Sudfeld. So we know why he's here. Is he the number 2 if Hendon Hooker isn't ready, though? I don't know.
So, Broder, are you alluding to maybe they go get another backup quarterback?
They might have to think about it. They waited a while to get Teddy Bridgewater last year.
That's true.
Not my favorite player, but Ryan Tannehill's out there. There are quarterbacks out there. Should you feel you need a little bit more insurance at that backup position for Goff, at least to start the year. But again, training camp, minicamp, the reports that came out of minicamp, this was Hendon Hooker's first go at.
Yeah, it's true.
True practice with this team. So who knows, this month off and then a month of training camp, he could take a step, we're all like, fine. Okay, you're good. You're the number 2.
And to your point, at least with Teddy Bridgewater, there was a clear distinction like, okay, Teddy's the number 2. So, if he's young and he's struggling, trying to read defenses and grasping the offense, then you shouldn't make him your number 2, although he, in my mind, has all the physical capabilities to be the number 2. So it's definitely an interesting storyline. Do you have a storyline you're looking at?
So what do you – I love that storyline too. What's the most intriguing offensive storyline after that? Do we want to talk about Jamison Williams as wide receiver 2
you already know
/ 3 and 4?
Biggest one is.
Like who is 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
Or do we want to talk about Shone Vaki's role on the offense?
That's another good one. /
special teams?
I'm interested in both of those, actually. With J-Mo, of course, question of the day, can he step up? Can he be that guy? Can he fit into that number 2 role when he finally is going to get the targets that we feel he deserves? So he's going to have a chance to prove a lot of people wrong, and I just hope and pray that he comes through because, once again, this is a guy that has all the physical attributes to get the job done. And at least in his case, we have seen flashes of his ability to impact games, man. He is an absolute game changer when he is on and popping and scoring, man. If you get him in the open field, it's over. So definitely that aspect. But who's the number 3? That's also a good storyline, too, because we thought it may have been DPJ, but I've also heard reports coming out of minicamp that DPJ was taking reps with the second team. So we don't know necessarily who is going to fit into that wide receiver 3 role. Is it Khalif Raymond?
Yeah.
Is it, it could be a lot of guys. Is it Antoine Green? Crazy as it sounds.
No.
A lot of people been on the Antoine Green train too.
Including Antoine Randall. Like everything you've heard from the coaching staff and the receivers is Antoine Green is coming.
Yeah.
And you got guys like Isaiah Washington, undrafted wide receiver out of Illinois. Like, does he take a step in training camp and prove, hey, I need to be that back up to Khalif Raymond, that other type of slot receiver? His ability to get separation at Illinois was special. Yeah. He started as a quarterback there. We know Antoine Randall must love this kid.
Yeah.
J-Mo being that number 2, or at least being that number 2 trusted pass catcher, not including Sam Laporta, that makes the number 3, 4, 5 discussion or whoever emerges just that much more comforting.
It does.
It could be whoever, just as long as someone steps up.
And it's a good problem to have. I feel like we have the dogs. It's just about figuring out the playtime.
Yes.
So, Justin, what you got, man?
You know who's my wide receiver, too? He's not even a wide receiver. It's Sam Laporta. He's going to take
he's a tight end.
It's fact.
He's going to take a true Kelsey-like step where he's going to cement himself as the premier tight end in the NFL. As Kelsey is getting to the point where he's about to retire, we have Kittle, who's injury-prone. The consistency of Sam Laporta and the way that he is able to be such a multifaceted receiver, he's the second option on this team, and he is going to be electric. Also, you could see Jahmyr Gibbs flirting with that wide receiver 3 role, as he's going to get a lot of reps on route running, and he's definitely more electric than Khalif Raymond and DPJ, even though Khalif Raymond is probably the most reliable on this offense behind Amon-Ra St. Brown and Laporta.
People sleeping on Khalif Raymond again.
They are.
Again.
He's so integral to this team, especially with Josh Reynolds being gone. Like, that is now Goff's sure-handed wide receiver. Like, that when everyone's covered, Khalif Raymond's going to have that Josh Reynolds role now, and that's where he's going to eat. And I like Khalif Raymond a lot.
We'll see. They're different types of receivers, and I don't know if Khalif's going to be over the middle as much as Josh Reynolds, but I get what you're saying in terms of that trust level. Goff trusting where he's going to be. His ability to separate is as good as anybody in the entire NFL.
He's a chain mover.
He is. But let's go to the defensive end for the last 5 minutes. We see the Up and Adams show piling in here. Shout out to all of them. Everyone is packing this place. We got an audience now. But on the defensive end, defensive storylines going into training camp. This is where there are a lot of rookies now. We could have talked Shone Vaki on offense, but on defense, who's going to be that edge opposite Hutch? How is the secondary competition going to play out? What about the linebackers? Does Jack Campbell emerge to be that to challenge Anzalone for that number 1? I think Anzalone will be the number 1 for the entirety of the season. He's a leader. He's the captain. But will Jack Campbell elevate his game to be on that level with Anzalone to take over when the time comes? What are some of these defensive storylines?
That is factual, man. And the linebackers are getting slept on. I don't feel they're getting enough attention as to what they may do this year. But the biggest storyline, of course, is this revamped secondary.
Gotta be.
That is the most excited. That's the thing I'm most excited to see about this year, man. How is it going to work with all these rookie talents, man, mixed in with some pretty good veterans, man? You got Carlton Davis. You got Amik Robertson, man. What do you do with Brian Branch? Does he continue to play nickel? Is he strictly a safety?
Right.
Like, there's so many options, and I feel the Lions will answer this by committee. I feel like it's going to be a game-by-game basis. I feel like it's going to be very matchup-based. No one particular corner is going to be featured, heavily in a particular week, man. So I'm just looking forward to see who is going to step up in the secondary, and more interestingly enough, who is going to be the number 2 for game 1, because I feel like that'll tell a lot, man.
And who is going to be the leader? Like, I've learned a lot about Carlton Davis. I don't know if is he the on-field lead, that vocal leader?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or does someone else step up into that role?
He was talking crazy in the offseason.
Yeah, I think it is Carlton Davis. I just haven't seen it. What's fun about watching the secondary, especially in training camp, you can actually see competition. Like, you can see how hard they get at it. You can see the level of intensity, not only going up against a receiver, but when they make a play, they're the loudmouths. They like to celebrate. And we like that.
That's that swagger they were missing.
Yes, it's not a bad thing.
That.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I think that going down the road this next couple of years as we look to this defense, hopefully staying elite, as hopefully they are this year, but I think the leadership role in the secondary, because Carlton Davis won't be here for that long in the long run, I think Brian Branch is that guy who's going to take over that leadership role in the secondary.
I like that.
I love Brian Branch. I think he's vocal. He's very charismatic, and I think that Carlton Davis will kind of take him into this next level. I really am excited for this year to see what Brian Branch can do and how he can take another step and move into that, whether he plays in the nickel or whether he plays safety, an elite defensive back on this team. He makes plays.
And don't sleep on Amik Robertson.
No, I love Amik.
Mitt brought up in the chat,
he got the
Amik
swag.
Robertson is a leader. I think he could very well be the emotional leader. He's the one who fits what a lot of the identity of this cornerback room has taken up. Like looked past, although Terran Arnold is the number 1 draft pick. A lot of the others in this secondary, have been slept on, have been counted out. They're too small. They can only play the slot.
Right.
Amik Robertson, he's too small.
It's funny you brought up Amik Robertson. I think last week on Twitter, he made a tweet saying that y'all better stop calling me a depth piece.
Right.
Like that depth piece stuff, like I'm not falling for it. Like so I'm looking forward to what he's going to bring to this table, man.
At the end of the day, the guys who will be on the field are who Aaron Glenn trusts. And that might be situation to situation, but if Aaron Glenn doesn't trust you, you're not seeing the field.
Yeah.
You know he's going to trust Amik Robertson. You know he'll trust Carlton Davis, Brian Branch, and it's seeming like Terrion Arnold's headed that way. Yep. He trusts Kendall Vildor, which we're not going to revisit everything of last year. They re-signed him for a specific reason. Aaron Glenn trusts him. And I know we're right at 9:50. Let's take 60 more seconds to talk about that linebacker room and combine it with the defensive line because I think they're slept on. They haven't made any big splashes. They did re-sign or extend Jalen Reeves-Maben, which is an awesome move for special teams and linebacker, but the additions to the secondary and to the defensive line are what's going to make this linebacker group special. DJ Reader, Ali McNeil emerging, Hutch emerging. That all leads to Jack Campbell breaking out that much more.
Right. Maybe a return season from James Houston. You know, there's a lot there, man. Josh Paschal, you have to look out for him. There's a lot there, but that defensive line should automatically help this linebacking core.
Has to.
And the reason the linebackers aren't being talked about is because they're kind of solid, you know, as they are right now, man. If you have Jack Campbell, you know, coming in and doing what he does, he can take that next step up. But also when you have Anzalone, you know, being a consistent presence in that middle.
Yeah.
I think they're good to go, man. But I do expect a breakout from Jack Campbell. He was under 100 tackles last year. I expect him to get over 100 this year. Some more TFLs in the backfield as well. So I'm really looking forward to what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. We're going to be ramping up each and every day, talking a little bit more Lions before training camp, which starts in 5 days. This starts on Saturday. The rookies report, the vets report on Tuesday.